Hi. So today I want to get into who's in control. You see, before we can even start talking about the character traits to living your best life, we need to understand who is in control and, more importantly, why. Now, before we even go there, what I want to talk to you about first is character and how we differentiate character. So, for example, I love to use the analogy of fruit trees. So, a fruit or a tree is known by the fruit it produces. You cannot tell me that an apple tree is not an apple tree if I am seeing apples and therefore then tasting them. And the same is true for a peach tree or a banana tree, if that's actually a tree. Somebody told me that it's not one time. Anyway, a fruit tree is known by the fruit it produces. And just like me and you, we're known by what we produce. And what we produce is character. You are known by the character you produce in any given situation. And what's important to know is how you respond or react to these given situations. Now we're going to go back to the fruit tree. So imagine you are in an apple grove and there are a ton of apple trees. And you know these are apple trees because there's apples growing on them. But as you are walking down, you notice that there's a few trees that are withering and they don't look healthy. In fact, some of the fruit on them hasn't ripened. There's weeds growing and there's worms and stuff coming out of the apples, and you can see it rotting. Now ask yourself, which apple tree are you going to pick apples from? I'm sure the answer is you're going to pick the apples from the actual fruit-bearing tree that looks healthy and producing healthy apples. Now, let's carry this a little bit further. So just like the gardener has to take care of his fruit trees, so do you and I have to take care of ourselves. You see, the gardener has to make sure that he keeps the weeds away so they don't come and choke out the growth of the tree. He has to prune the branches that are infected or also can infect the good fruit. The same is true for you and me. You see, how we respond to situations is an indicator of what's inside of us. If you respond to outbursts of anger, hatred, fear, conceit, jealousy, you are being controlled by your emotions. You are not in control. So when I asked you earlier, who is in control? If you allow yourself to be ruled and controlled by those negative, or what I like to call destructive character traits, then you're not in control. And so we really have to take ownership and take back our lives. Take back those things that we know that we can control, and we have complete control over our emotions and how we respond to things. You see, it's easy to point the finger when something goes wrong and say it's that person's fault that this happened, without looking internally and understanding our role in that situation. You see, if we can own it, we can control it. So again, who's in control? Is it you or your emotions.